afternoon, Monday the 16th of September, 4:30, and this is the Shrigley Monument. There was a big factory in behind here where you can see the chimney there, and this monument was in tribute to a Mr. Martin who ran the factory, the mill, and there were mill houses all around here, and they're all away. But this monument was built in honour of this Mr. Martin, who did a great service to the people of the Shrigley area, looked after them, helped build their houses and what have you. And it's known as the Shrigley Monument. It's a pity there's no dates or inscription up, and the monument is struggling to remain upright. You can see where chunks of it have fallen down. I have videoed this before, some time ago. And it's in a poor state of repair. And it would take thousands to refurbish this. I wonder if somebody chopped the heads off those three ladies. Looks like it. Or maybe they've just been weather beaten. This harks back to Shrigley's past. And there's a information board. Look at the wee lad there playing in the cut grass. Instead of on the swings across the road. And this is where we are. Killyleagh is 1 mile down that way, St. Field's 8 miles down that way, and Derryboy is 3 miles down that way. And there's as I say, there's an information board here, and there was a festival went on here a couple of weeks ago about Shrigley and the origins of Shrigley. And this was the big workplace, big mill at Shrigley. It was important. This was not just a Mickey Mouse place. This was a big undertaking, important worldwide as a place of innovation and industry. It was the site of one of the largest linen mills in the world, and an award-winning leather tannery. First established 1824, the village has been an important industrial hub ever since. A paternalistic village of 138 houses was developed around the original mill. However, these were all knocked down in a massive redevelopment between 1966 and 70. All that is left is of the old village is the Martin Memorial Clock. What is that the Martin Memorial Clock? Not too sure. John Martin's model village included a school, village hall, sports facilities. It's one of the 10 paternalistic model mill villages across the whole of Northern Ireland. There was no pub, no pawn shop, no bookmaker shop, and no police station. And this is a timeline. John Martin signed the lease for the land with Lord Dufferin for what was to become Shrigley. He developed a cotton mill using water power from the Clea lough. He then started to develop a cluster of houses around the mill gates. And it was 5 stories high. 300 mill workers produced cotton for the Manchester market. And the mill was burned down to the ground in 1849 after an accidental fire. 500 to 600 people lost their jobs, and the mill was then rebuilt as a linen mill. 1870, a clock tower paid for by grateful villagers was erected as a thank you and in memory of the Martin family in Belfast. Ireland's first children's hospital was paid for and endowed by the Martin family. So that's the clock tower up there. John Martin, founder of the Shrigley, died in 1876, age 79. Wonder where he's buried. And that goes on to tell you about a cinema and a library, electric street lighting, 1913. Cricket has been played in Shrigley since the early days. Shrigley Mill closed in 1930. The mill was redeveloped as a site for a leather tannery established in November of 1939 by two Jewish families, Titz and Wenger, fleeing Hitler's purge of Europe. This is fascinating. United Chrome Tanners started with 90 workers, gradually peaking at 600 workers from across the district. As diggers moved in 1966 to start building the new village in August 1966, Shrigley Tannery, United Chrome Tanners, became the first company in Northern Ireland to win the Queen's Award to Industry for Export 1968. The first 12 families moved into the newly built homes at Crossgar Road and Dufferin Drive. New village officially opened in 1970. New industry, Northern Ireland Plastics, was opened on the site. And that's why I see cars coming out of it. The tannery finally closed in 2004, 65 years after the tanning industry first began here. 2024, this historic project was created to mark the 200th anniversary of Little Shrigley. And that's the Martin Memorial Clock number 2. Some more pictures from time gone by. And that's the way it was. It's a pity that they hadn't the gumption to retain some of these old houses. And there's the Martin Memorial Clock surrounded by other buildings, and there's the schoolhouse. And this guy number 13 was mentioned in another video I did, and he's Shrigley's most famous son, Hugh Henry Davy, who won the first of his international football caps in 1925. And there's the way it was. If you'd travelled all over the world, you would not have come across or seen such a beautiful clock. And there's the clock that was in the Martin Memorial Clock Tower, and it's falling to bits at the minute. Wonder what happened to the workings of the clock. The clock was lit on all four sides and could be seen from every house in the village. The late Mrs. Annie Hagan, who was the oldest resident when she died in 1986 at the age of 93, recalled, "No one in the village at that time had a clock. We all looked out to the big clock tower that was lit up at night." Isn't that interesting? Hi there.
How you doing?
This is fascinating.
I think so. I know practically at all. I grew up with it, you know. So.
Did you grow up in the village as it was?
Yeah.
My goodness. My goodness. So you would have lived in one of these old mill houses?
Yeah, but I'll show you exactly where it was.
You lived here?
The River Row. See there?
That was your house?
That was number 64 River Row.
And I'm talking, do you mind being on video?
No.
Good man. I've got it. What's your first name?
John.
John.
Yeah.
What did the residents think whenever their old houses were being all demolished?
What did they
think? Were they happy about it, or was there nostalgia there?
I think they were, you see, because the ins and outs was in my very early years, there was no running water type of thing, and no flush toilets.
Out the back, but you eventually got those.
You had a barrel sort of thing, a wooden barrel in the backyard, and come down from the spoutings, and then you flushed the toilet with the water out of the wooden barrel.
But eventually, there were toilets put in, were there?
Yeah.
So at the time, you thought it was a really good thing.
Well, it wouldn't. I think everybody was the same type of thing. A whole lot of people didn't agree with the outlay, that principle, you know.
But the sad thing was that the wee community, obviously, whenever all these houses were demolished, friends were split up. Would that be the case?
It didn't have the same camaraderie, that's the word, you know, to show you something.
Yes, good man. This is fascinating.
Yeah, there.
Where are you?
That's my father.
That's your father.
Alec Wilson.
And what age would he have been there?
There?
Yes. Would he have been, what, in his 50s?
Probably mid-50s.
And can I ask you a personal question? What age are you now?
I'll be 82 next month.
You're 82. You don't look 82. I'm 71 and you look younger than me.
I have two more of those there. I have two more of those dogs, and they keep me active type of thing, you know. I don't know, I'd say probably that's a wee bit of a secret if you keep on the go, you know.
Correct. You don't lie down and let it happen to you.
My daughter lives in Cumber.
Yes.
And she was ringing her mum, who's at home at the moment, you know.
Yes.
And I heard Lynn, the daughter, saying something or other about, you know, me type of thing.
Yes, yes.
And then my wife says, I'm never happier. She says, no cleaning or nothing to do. He's never in the house.
Yeah. And there he goes, that gentleman lived in Shrigley as it was, and that's his father. Shrigley, the way it was, commemorated with the Martin Memorial clock still standing, but in dire need of repair.